SALIVA guitarist Wayne Swinny dead at 59. The hard rock band's co-founder passed after a spontaneous brain hemorrhage while on tour. Wayne Swinny, guitarist and co-founder of the hard rocker SALIVA, has died at 59 after suffering a brain hemorrhage while on tour with the group. The news was confirmed by the band in a Facebook post on Wednesday, March 22, in which they wrote, "It is with great sadness that we report the passing of our brother, Wayne Swinny. Wayne passed away this afternoon from a spontaneous brain hemorrhage while we are out on tour. Details for the funeral arrangements will be announced shortly. Wayne will be missed by all those who knew him." The post was accompanied by a black and white picture of Swinny on stage wearing one of his signature black cowboy hats while strumming his guitar. Swinny's death was announced just hours after the band reported that he'd been hospitalized. "Our dear brother Wayne Swinny was discovered Tuesday morning in medical distress and paramedics were called," read an earlier Facebook post. "He was transported to a hospital where he was diagnosed with a spontaneous hemorrhage in his brain. He is currently in the ICU as we await further news." SALIVA was formed in Memphis in 1996 by singer Josie Scott, bassist Dave Novotny, drummer Todd Poole, and guitarist Swinny and Chris DeBaldo. Their Island Records debut, Every 6 Seconds, was released in 2001 and spawned the thundering hits Click Click Boom and Your Disease. They followed up with 2002's Back Into Your System and 2004's Survival of the Sickest. Singer Scott left the group in 2011 but was replaced by Bobby Amaru. The group's most recent album was 2018's 10 Lives. In a statement to TMZ, singer Amaru said, "I'm not even sure what to think or how to feel right now. My heart aches for Wayne's family, his friends, and anyone who had the joy of being around him. My heart aches for his daughter, Nikki. He loved that little girl so much. He would go out of his way to make sure you had a good time. I'm grateful that I got to share almost 12 years of my life with Wayne on the stage and most importantly, off the stage." Amaru referred to Swinny, the only remaining original member of the group, as the older brother he never had in his statement. "I learned so much from him, and we had an effing blast together," he said. "I will cherish it all for the rest of my life. God bless you, Wayne. I know we'll meet again." SALIVA is in the midst of a U.S. tour with the next scheduled date on March 29 in Colorado Springs, Colorado. SALIVA is an American rock band formed in Memphis, Tennessee in 1996. SALIVA released their self-titled debut album in 1997 through Rocking Chair Records, a label owned and operated by Mark Yoshida. The release was recorded and produced by Bill Pappas and Rocking Chair Studios. They were signed to Island Def Jam Records and went on to release their second studio album, Every 6 Seconds. SALIVA later released their third studio album titled Back Into Your System in 2002, which reached number 19 on the Billboard 200. Back Into Your System launched SALIVA's most successful songs, Always, reaching number 51 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the Modern Rock chart. 3 years after Survival of the Sickest, SALIVA released Bloodstained Love Story in 2007, repeating Back Into Your System's chart performance at number 19 on Billboard 200. Its first single, Ladies and Gentlemen, peaked at number 2 on the mainstream rock chart. Their last original member, Wayne Swinny, died on March 22, 2023. SALIVA was founded in Bartlett, Tennessee in September 1996 by former members of local bands Roxy Blue, Blackbone, and Gemini Clan. The original lineup featured vocalist Josie Scott Sappington, drummer Todd Poole, bassist Dave Novotny, and guitarist Chris DeBaldo and Wayne Swinny. The band played their first show on Halloween, October 31, 1996, with Sappington dressed in a nun costume and Novotny dressed in voodoo costume. In December 1996, only 4 months after forming, the band hastily recorded a demo tape, on the basis of which they were selected out of 117 local bands to perform at the second annual Grammy Showcase National Academy of Recording Arts and Science local competition. The band barely had time to finish mixing the tracks of their demo tape at Rocking Chair Recording Studios in order to submit their application before the deadline. The local showcase had SALIVA perform alongside 4 other Tennessee and Arkansas bands, DDT Big Band, Mash-O-Matic, Straight Up Buzz, and Ashtray Babyhead on January 24, 1997 at Memphis's New Daisy Tavern. SALIVA ranked first place at the local showcase and advanced to the regional showcase held in Austin, Texas on February 7, 1997. Their demo tape had been since remixed with a better production, and the song Suffocate was included on the 1997 Grammy Showcase Various Artists Compact Disc compilation, released through Grammy Recordings alongside the 11 other bands with whom they would be competing in the regional showcases. Saliva again were in first place in the regional showcase, and they advanced to the national finals, held in New York City on February 22, 1997, competing against the other two regional finalists, folk trio Maggie, Pierce, and EJ, and rock band Save Ferris. Saliva came in second behind Save Ferris, but still received worthy consolation prizes, including money, equipment, and tickets to the 1997 39th Annual Grammy Awards ceremony. By this point, Saliva had only played a total of 6 concerts, but they began to be courted by major record label A&R scouts. The band was nominated for Best Newcomer at the 12th Annual Premier Player Awards, the local Memphis edition of the Grammy Awards, held at the Peabody's Memphis Ballroom on April 16, 1997. Saliva also appeared at Memphis's Crossroad 97 Music Exhibition as part of Memphis and May's Beale Street Music Festival Showcase on May 2, 1997. In the spring and summer of 1997, Saliva returned to Rocking Chair Recording Studios in Memphis to record additional songs with producer Bill Pappas and Mark Yoshida, which were combined with the remix songs from their demo tape into their self-titled debut album. Saliva was released on compact disc in mid-August 1997 through producer Yoshida's own independent record label, Rocking Chair Records. A CD release party was held at Club 616 in Memphis on Friday, August 15, 1997. The album went on to sell over 10,000 copies within 2 years, promoting Island Records A&R representatives to again take notice of the band. The band's debut album was repressed following Saliva's major label success through a licensing deal between Rocking Chair Records and hip-hop record label Diamond Productions. The reissue was distributed by Red Distribution imprint RUM, Red Urban Music Marketing, and featured an updated artwork designed by Brandon Sievers at Audiographic Masterworks. The band performed again at Memphis Crossroad 98 Music Exhibition as part of Memphis and May's Beale Street Music Festival Showcase on May 3, 1998. Drummer Poole departed in late 1999 and was replaced by Paul Crosby. Saliva's Island Every 6 Seconds was released in 2001 and featured the singles Your Disease and Click Click Boom, both of which saw significant play on rock radio and helped bring the band into mainstream popularity. The songs Superstar and Click Click Boom were featured in the film Fast and the Furious. Back Into Your System, their third album, was released in 2002, which included the chart-topping hits Always and Rest in Peace, co-written by James Michael and Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. The band toured in 2003, opening for Kiss and Aerosmith. Saliva then released Survival of the Sickest on August 17, 2004, which reached number 20 on the Billboard 200. On May 29, 2005, guitarist Chris DeBaldo announced that he was leaving the band for obvious reasons, as the band is not a unit anymore. He then shortly retracted his statement and apologized, declaring on the band's website that there was a bit of an issue we're working through and were looking forward to recording a new album later this year. However, the band's website later apologized again for the confusion and confirmed that due to creative differences, DeBaldo was in fact leaving the band, but that Saliva was completely moving forward as planned and has our best music ahead of us. DeBaldo eventually moved on to start the band Smolder. Jake Stutvos, formerly of the band Future Leaders of the World, replaced him in Saliva's tour lineup. Stutvos left the group right before the recording sessions for Ladies and Gentlemen. Jonathan Montoya, formerly of Full Devil Jacket, then became the next permanent member of Saliva. A new single, titled Ladies and Gentlemen, was released in November 2006 to radio stations and made it to number 2 on the US mainstream rock charts. Saliva released the album Bloodstained Love Story on January 23, 2007. It has also been included as the background music for a number of Sony's commercials for the PlayStation 3. It also made the official theme song of WrestleMania 23. The second single released off the album was Broken Sunday, which reached number 8 on the mainstream rock chart. Saliva's tour manager Chris stated that the new single of Blood-Stained Love Story would be King of the Stereo. Saliva guitarist Wayne Swinney's last words before he died. I used to think I knew everything. I was a smart person who got things done, and because of that, the higher I climbed, the more I could look down and scoff at what seemed silly or simple, even religion.